We just do a go me.
Go Megan!
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
Welcome to Debt Free Stories. I'm Jen.
I'm Jill.
And we are the co-hosts of the Frugal Friends podcast and YouTube channel.
Debt Free Stories. That's what we're doing.
Yes. So if you haven't seen a debt-free story that we've done before, we're sharing the stories of our listeners who have paid off debt from all walks of life, all amounts, all ways, and in hopes of inspiring you and celebrating them. And we have loved this series so far, and so we're excited to share another with you.
We've got an amazing guest and fellow Frugal Friends podcast listener, Megan. Megan, welcome. We're so glad to have you.
Awesome. I'm so excited too. I tell everyone that I meet, like all of my debt payoff tips now. And you have to listen to the Frugal Friends. They'll help you. So I'm so excited to finally share it. Yeah.
We are so honored to be a part of the tips that you share with everyone. Listen to the Frugal Friends podcast and just the small part of the journey that we've been. Thank you so much. And back to you. Tell us about yourself. Where are you from? What's your life situation? Just lay the groundwork for us.
Let us get to know you.
Right. Well, I live in South Florida, and I teach third grade. This is my 21st year in the classroom. So part of my debt payoff was, why have I been teaching for 20 years, or 18 at the time, and I'm still paycheck to paycheck? Like, where is my money going? Because it's happening, it's coming in. So the teacher salary, I think, plays into this story as well. And yeah, I love things that have to do with frugality, simplicity, and less consumerism, creating less waste, and it all kind of ties together.
That's awesome. So was there any epiphany or event that happened that kind of led you to the realization that after 18 years of teaching, you're living paycheck to paycheck?
Yes. So I did go through a divorce during that time, and there's seasons of life that change, and I knew at that point things needed to go on a credit card and all of that. But it was the end of 2018, and I had joined a step bet where you pay into a group, and then they give you a certain number of steps each day. And as long as you make your step goal, you get that money back plus a portion of the pot. And a friend of mine was over. She was maybe it was her second year teaching. She worked with me, and she was like, I was like, oh, I have to get my steps, but I'm not going to. It's just $40. And she was like, no, get up. We're going. It's $40. And so I was like, all right, well, she's going to take me along. Let's go. And we walked through the neighborhood, and she started not teaching me, but she started talking about this FIRE concept that she had learned about. And again, second year of teaching. And she was taking on another job waitressing so that she could retire early. And I was like, that's incredible. And it just started to click in my head. She's so young, and she's doing this now. Where would I be if I had done something similar? And so that was December, I think. And January, I was like, this is it. This is my goal. 2019, I am paying off my debt. And I told myself I could do it in a year, but I'm really competitive. And I ended up doing it in 6 months because I am really competitive. So yeah. So that's where it started. That's there.
So powerful to hear, and I think highlights how important community is. I think we've experienced that. We hear it from our listeners all the time, and similar for you, not only with physical exercise and other types of goals that we might be having in life, but also with financial goals, just to hear what else might be possible, to have others inspire and motivate us. It's such a powerful part of what got you started on this journey.
Yeah. I called her a lot in the beginning, and I would ask her, what does this mean? And she would explain it to me. Or she would refer me to Nerd Wallet, and I'd look it up myself. And I was learning it, but it was just that inspiration. So from there, I just decided I am a paper and pencil girl, and I know my strengths as a teacher. So I needed to gamify everything because I'm competitive, and I needed to be creative. So I just got a binder. I didn't want to buy a planner because that was part of my problem was I need this, I should buy it. So I got a binder and I filled it with regular loose leaf paper and I put plain paper for each month. And I just said, just track where your money's going. I would highlight and then like categories. I needed to see where that was. That was like 2 months of trying to cut down spending and see where my money was going. I knew that, my career is not the type where you can go in and say, I've been rated highly effective for 6 years in a row. I'd like a raise. Like it doesn't work that way. And I'm not at a spot where I was comfortable taking on a second job. So I figured out, okay, if I can't make more money, I either need to stop spending it or like get better discounts, like save more on what I am buying. And I think it was a combination of that. I did the typical, I cut expenses. I didn't need to go get my nails done. I could do it myself. We like to go to concerts and things like that. We don't have to go to all of them. Like we can pick our favorites. A huge thing was your pantry challenge episodes and websites, or even on Alexa, you can ask her, Alexa, ask Save the Food if my celery is good, and she'll give you tips on the quality and like what's wrong with it, how to revive it, is it still okay? So we cut down our food waste. We started getting really creative. I've always been a leftover for lunch person, but we got really creative with turning a leftover into something brand new. Don't save the end of the onion, put it in the bag in the freezer because I'm going to make stock out of it in a week. So, we did all of these little things like that to cut expenses in groceries. I stopped buying paper napkins. I know that's like little. I took on any tutoring job that I could. I cashed in all my coins, all the coins that are sitting in the closet. I took more of an inventory of my like bathroom toiletries. I don't need to get another shampoo. I have 2 under the sink. This is a good price, but I don't need it.
Mm-hmm.
And once I started to make little extra payments with that money coming in, it was like, it just went from there. It was like, keep going, keep going. What else can I cut? I said gamifying, like you guys always recommend. I would make like a goal for the month. And it was like I think January was like 10 days where I didn't spend anything. So then in February, it was like just one more. So all I had to do was just one more day than the month before. Now I tried for so many, but it wasn't like I felt any kind of failure, because it was like, okay, you did it. Can you do it again, but +1? Just like I said, the things that I would do with the kids to motivate them, like I had to do that for myself.
That's amazing. It's so crazy. Like when you have this singular focused goal, it wakes you up to things that you could be doing that you kind of maybe always knew, but never had a reason or motivation to do. And there's so many opportunities just lying around that once you have this singular focused goal, you now have the motivation to actually take advantage of them.
Right, when it's connected to something greater, like the debt payoff is a reason to kind of just get a few percentage points better in all of these areas. Not one of them is going to make you rich and wealthy, but that shift in mindset and thinking about how you're cooking that week or setting something aside to make chicken stock, and it becomes exciting and fun when it's connected to something more important, a goal you're trying to attain.
Yeah.
I had to completely tell myself, you're not allowed in Target anymore. You can't go to Target because, so during my divorce, that was an activity. Go to Target and go up and down the aisles, or go to TJ Maxx and look what they have. But when I started selling those same things on Facebook Marketplace because I needed to figure out a way to make money, that's pretty telling when you're like, I spent $25 on this and I'll take 5 just to have the 5 back. That is something that changes the way you shop also.
Absolutely. So let's hear a little bit more about the debt. How much was it? How long did it take you to pay off? Give us some more of those details.
It was around $19,000, and it was my car and the rest of my student loans. And like I said, 20 years, or it was like 18 years at the time of teaching, and I still was paying student loans because when the bill came, it was you pay the minimum because then I need the other money to go and, live life or shop. But that's not the case. Like you can live life and you can do these other things by putting more money, because then you have that freedom and you don't feel the stress of, I'm going to go to the mailbox and there's going to be a bill in there. It's just gone. It's incredible.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And 6 months down from how long did you think it would take you?
I told myself I could do it in a year. Actually, I told my mom, I said, mark my words, a year from now, this will be gone. And because I just kept hustling. No, at that point I had moved in with my now husband. So like the life situation had changed. And I know that that's important. I wasn't paying a mortgage payment at that time, but I hadn't been paying a mortgage payment either. So, you know what I mean? Like, yeah.
So, wow, $19,000 in 6 months. When you thought it was going to take you a year and you had life changes happening in the midst of that, some beneficial, some probably not so beneficial. Either way,
Right.
It's quite an incredible payoff in just 6 months. In that debt payoff, were there any kind of lump sums that you utilized to pay that off? Did you sell anything large? Did you use savings? Any kind of big tackling that you implemented?
I mean, I did go through like some of my jewelry that I didn't wear, and I sold back the gold, but we're talking like $100 here and there. There wasn't really anything that was a lump sum. I remembered the other thing. One of the tricks, we live next to a more wealthy, more affluent neighborhood, and their bulk trash night is Sunday. So I would take a drive around the lake on Sunday and see things that were easily sold on Facebook Marketplace and clean them up. And I mean, like with a rag, not like anything major, clean them off and post them for like $10 just for something. And I did like keep track of this. I put it all into a free Google Sheet when I did it. I did it from paper, and then the nerd went to the Google Sheets, but I wrote it in $769 worth in a year of stuff that I sold on Facebook Marketplace that I either had in my house or picked up for free. And it was like $5 and $10 items. So my grandmother was a gambler, and she used to say, a successful gambler, if that's a thing. And she used to say, any money is good money, even if it's not much money. And that's how I felt about that. Yes, I was giving this thing away for $5 and I paid more, but it's 5 more than I have now. And when that number started to grow on my spreadsheet, I was like, this is incredible. This could be my summer gig. I could just find things that people don't want and flip them. It's not my summer gig, but it's another way where I couldn't make more at my current job. So how else can I bring in money? And that was just another way.
That's amazing. Yeah.
So creative.
Yeah. So how much were you earning from your actual job? I assume since it was 6 months, it was the same.
It was the same salary each. Yeah. Yeah.
And how much was it?
Around 50,000.
Yeah. So you're a teacher. It's not like you're making massive amounts of income able to pay off this debt in a super short amount of time.
Yeah. You're making a really standard income and paying off this big debt in a really short amount of time. That's super cool.
It was definitely cutting expenses and, thinking like, well, we already don't pay that much. Well, I'm spending money on contacts every year and I have glasses. So if I wore my glasses like half the time, my contacts now last for 2 years. It was just being more aware. You fall into this trap of like, it's $3 at Starbucks, and it's the dollar spot item, and it's $10 over here, or something at work. I had to be very honest with coworkers. I'm not in a time right now where I can pitch in money for gifts. I will wrap the gift. I will make a card. I will do a plant. I'll wrap, you know what I mean? Like I can participate in other ways. I could bake something, but I can't give you the $10 that you need for the next gift. And they respected that. It was not harsh. You just have to be upfront, and people understand that because everybody wants to save their money. You just have to stand up for yourself and say, I can't give this to you right now.
Wow. Yeah. That boundaries and self-restraint to be able to say no to people you love or like or see frequently, that is a lesson that is a byproduct of, paying off debt that will transcend your bank account. There's so many lessons that we take for granted on this journey. We think it's just about getting to net zero or getting to see a number on a screen. But it is so much more about the lessons you pick up on the journey. And that's one that I have learned and I keep, and I think and will serve you for like far beyond what debt freedom will do to your bank account.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Thank you. Thank you.
So, what's coming up next now that you've paid off this debt? What's your next financial goal on the horizon?
We would like to pay off our mortgage. But right now, that rate is steady. We are in need of new windows and slider doors. So we did get a company to come, and they're coming in. We are putting our money into a high yield. I split my, now that I get to keep the money, most of the money coming in. I split my paycheck. I did a direct deposit into my regular credit union and to a high yield savings. I do have the card for that one, but we're not pulling from it because now it's at 3.25, and we're putting half of every paycheck goes into that, and that's to pay for the windows. So they're going to do the windows, I believe, like February or March, and we know because we've done it, we can have that money in ready. So when the windows are done, they say, here's your first payment. We can say, no, here's all of it. So that's our current goal. Yep. And it's still a reminder. It's still practice. We have stickies on the bathroom mirror with the amounts. We cross it out and we write the new amount so that we see it every day, which we thought might cause anxiety, but actually is very motivating for us. We get excited about, we should get the family together and like get a cabin somewhere. And we're like, after the windows are done, that's the next thing we save for.
Wow, that is amazing how you're thinking ahead and stashing money aside. How do you think you would have felt about the need for new windows had you not paid off debt? How would that have gone?
When he first showed us the amount after discounts, which there was a teacher discount too, because it never hurts to ask. Never hurts to ask. It was still the same feeling of, where do you get that money from? You don't just like pull it out of the air. And then it was just maybe like an hour or two of us like stomaching that giant number and going, wait, we can do this. Like we've done it. There's proof we've done it. We can do it again, and I've got my husband on board. Like I said, I was nervous that seeing the money amount each day would give him anxiety as well, but he saw me work so hard and really change how I am as a consumer. So he's on board, and it's fun. Now it becomes this thing that how much did you get to put in today? Oh, me too. Okay, cool. But I don't think that I would have had that hope. It would have just been in this state of dread, like, oh great, here's another thing. How do I pay for that? I'm still paying off this. Like the negative snowball instead of a positive snowball.
Wow, a negative snowball instead of a positive one. That's a really good way to look at it. It does, debt freedom really does create, it eliminates those negative snowballs that we very much create for ourselves. So I want to know, what would you say to somebody who is where you were when you had this epiphany that you had been working 18 years and still living paycheck to paycheck? Or maybe it's not even that severe, but they have this desire to be where you are now, and they're an average income earner who, doesn't have time for a side hustle. They don't think it's possible. What would you say to them?
I would definitely tell them that even though they think they're not spending as much and they have cut expenses, there are things to still be cut. There are expenses that you still have. Sometimes it takes someone else to look at it too. I've offered for a friend of mine, like, if you want to do that and write it down for a month, I will come over and highlight for you and help you like sort them out to categories. I would also, I would say that you have to know where it's coming, where it's going, and there are things you can cut. Um, and I would also tell them that the hint of using cash envelopes, having that cash in your hand and knowing that you're about to give it to someone else makes you stop and think. Thinking about that, marketing company sitting around their office table, like laughing, like, haha, she fell for our marketing. Let's go. We're taking her money. It just makes you think. So I would say, write it down or use an app or somehow really, and be honest with yourself. Just do it for a month. Be honest with yourself. Write it down. See where your money's going. See what you can cut. And try to use cash because it's so helpful. It's so concrete.
Those are some great tips, and you're a fantastic friend to have.
Yeah,
being
right?
willing to go, oh, here's how you can do this, and let me help you. That's amazing.
Glad to have you as a frugal friend.
Yes. Well, we are now at that time for some fun celebration. And you know us, we like to keep it loosey-goosey and really whatever's going to benefit you, similar to how your debt-free journey is not the same as everyone else's. Probably the way you want to celebrate is not the same as everyone else. So this is your time. How do you want to celebrate this debt payoff of almost $20,000 in 6 months?
All right. I'm going to do one that we do in the classroom when someone has like a fantastic response to something and we want to like acknowledge like that's what we're looking for. We just do a go me.
Go Megan!
Yay.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
Megan, thank you so much for sharing your debt payoff story. I know that there are so many people in a similar situation that are going to find this really inspirational and really take to heart the tips, all the good tips that you shared.
Well done, and inspiration for anyone watching to set a goal and then cut it in half. Sometimes we double it. Either way, we can do it.
Yeah.
If there's anything that we can take away from Megan or other people's stories, it's the ability to do this thing, to pay it off, take the small steps, find friends and community around you to do it.
Yeah.
And just, you can do it. It doesn't feel like it, but it feels so much better when that's gone. There's ways, like I said, I felt really trapped in the financial side of, you hear people say like, well, ask for a raise or it's time for a raise. Well, there's not much I could do besides taking on a second job, and tutoring was an okay thing, but I didn't want to learn a new skill or learn a cash register. I'm already exhausted from this job. So, finding ways. Yeah. And like I said, you two have been so helpful. Every time I listen to the podcast during the debt payoff, I would get this feeling of like, I'm doing it right. I'm doing it. Look how encouraging, because you always felt like friends that I was like listening in on. And it was like, yep, I'm doing that. I'm doing it right. I'm doing a good job. And it was like providing me the feedback I needed to keep going. Yeah. There were other podcasts that offered kind of like tough love. And I'd listen to those when I was driving because it kept me from stopping at a store. There were some I would listen to when I was out like taking a walk. And those were more like motivating for the future. And yours was like reassuring and new ideas. So thank you so much for doing this, because you're reaching so many people and you're giving them a better financial life.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much.
So many hearts.
Yeah.
So many.
Oh my gosh. Thank you. Thank you so much, Megan. We're always honored to just play a like small part in people's journeys, but like it was you who did all the heavy lifting.
You did it. You did it, Megan. Congratulations.
Can we do one more?
Go, Megan!
Yes. I love that.
That's so great. All the different ways of celebrating. And if this video has caused celebration or motivation for you, then awesome. Keep going. Keep watching the other videos on here. Keep listening to the Frugal Friends podcast, wherever you get your podcasts, for more tips on how you might be able to reach financial freedom, to pay off debt or get at other financial goals. And of course, if you're watching this and you're like, I want Jen and Jill, to cheer for me. I've done an amazing thing in paying off my debt, or you're about to pay off your debt, or you've paid off some portions of debt, where, anyone can submit. Find the details in the description below this video, and you can submit an application to be able to be interviewed as well, be on this YouTube Debt-Free Stories.
Yes. And so if you liked the video, please subscribe to the Frugal Friends YouTube channel and hit the notifications button so you're alerted whenever a new debt-free story is posted. We've got a lot of them this season. And then go to wherever you listen to podcasts and subscribe, hit that little plus sign to subscribe to the Frugal Friends podcast, where we're doing all that motivational, inspirational, friendly, new tips sort of thing. So we're helping you pay off your debt faster, reach financial freedom faster with every episode there. And we hope to see you again soon, maybe when you share your debt-free story.
Go you! We read each other's minds.
Yes.